guys, if you're not aware, I also have a crime channel where I do tarot, spirit sessions and case analysis. If you're into that, subscribe guys, there's a link in the description box below. I'll see you over there. Hi lovelies, welcome, so glad you could be here. We're doing the quick pick a card reading that I do every week. It's exciting, different themes each week. And this one is a really interesting one that came to me, which is going to be, what were your past lessons, okay, from a past life? What were your lessons from a past life, and what are your current lessons now? Sometimes if we haven't learned what, we were experiencing in a past life, they can come through constantly, continuously through our current lives and future lives, so until we finally get it, So if we're seeing two different kind of lessons coming through, it may be that you have already learned that past life lesson, and there might be a new current lesson that you're on the journey with, or it may be a continuing theme from your past life to your current life presently. We might get some ideas about maybe what kind of a life you lived. That might come through, depends on the channeling of the messages that do come through the cards as well. But we've got 3 readings here. We've got this little cherub for reading number 1. And we've got number 2, which is the Hope Stone. And it's got really nice patterns on there. And we've got number 3, which is the green or autumn leaves, you could see it as, or spring leaf. Okay, so that's number 3. So I'll give you a moment to focus, guys, as to which ones are calling you. You can choose more than one if you wish to. But 1, 2, or 3, we'll get started shortly. So you chose the little cherub for reading number 1. How are you guys? Hope you're doing well. We're going to be looking at your reading here. So just going to get these cards sorted. I meant to do that, sorry. A little bit absent-minded, I think. So let's have a look what's going on. We're going to see what the past life lessons were first, okay? And we might get an idea as to maybe what you were doing around that time too. So let's get an idea. Okay. Past life lesson for group 1. Thank you. What can we learn about this? Great achievement. Wow. Okay, so you rose to success in a past life here. And it shows that you might have been in quite a wealthy position, a successful position. You were well recognized. You may have achieved a promotion or an invention. There's something here that is, I get the idea that so many people admired you. They looked up to you. And I just see you smiling. And I'm seeing a masculine kind of energy coming through with this. And I'm getting the brown hair, shorter brown hair. It's kind of lengthy, long up the top. And it's interesting because so many of you are going to be so different, but this is not to say, that a lot of you could, there's so many people, if you look at it now in our current life now, there are many people that I've just explained who can resonate with that message. So it does, it makes sense that a lot of you watching could resonate with this message. But yeah, there's definitely something you were very successful with. I'm going to get more information, okay. I feel like I do see like a scroll, so you may have graduated from something. You might have been a lecturer or a teacher. There's something along those lines. Yes, I get that very strong. Temper your criticism. Oh, wow. So you might have been somebody who was pretty hard down the line. Had to be a certain way. Maybe you were very hard on yourself. And by being so, you might have been very hard on others, very strict with your discipline in life, the way you thought, the way you acted. Maybe in some ways you were in such a high position that you expected your standards were very high when it came to other people around you and how they would have to be, in their work situation. their positions in life, their values. Yeah, it's very interesting. And being the 33, which is the humanitarian number, it's somebody who reaches a vast audience. So it could have been that in some ways you were somebody who was maybe a judge. You know, you could have been a judge, like literally judging people. You know, you have to judge people, right or wrong. It's black and white in some ways here. And I'm getting scholar as well. I'm getting the word scholar. So you were very highly educated, and there is this current lesson, past life lesson, that there was this need to be able to see other people's points of view, because maybe you were from a high, you had a high education, you were from a background that may have been quite wealthy and in some ways very posh. So it might have been that you were not understanding other people who were at different levels below you, okay, below you. Yeah, because I think maybe your parents had very high standards and high ideals as to where you were meant to be in life. But it came easily to you because you did have this background where they had the money to put you into school and the high education, and you were very intelligent being able to move into that. But there was this intolerance of other people who were not really on your level. The Three of Water. Yeah, this is so funny. So not funny, but it's like, maybe you were somebody who loved the outdoors and wanted to have fun and celebrate. This is all about celebrations here. So this is a kind of lifestyle you lived in where there was the clinking of glasses. There was the, I don't know if something happened. There might have been something where there was a clinking of glasses. Full on just getting out there and maybe even surfing. Some of you might have literally surfed. But I get this, because I feel like you were in your 30s or 40s. It doesn't seem like you were really young, but you weren't really old either. So I get more of a 30s, 40s vibe here. And that you just wanted to have fun, you know. So you were hardworking, but you were also wanting to have a lot of fun, celebrate. Life was all about celebrating. It was really amazing. So at the time of your past life, you were learning about gratitude. So you fully appreciate the invaluable lessons that life lovingly presents to you. That was something that you were learning about, being able to find gratitude because things were given to you. You were raised in a very wealthy, high standards. People looked up to you and your family. There might have been some kind of recognition amongst the community or even in the country with your family. There's this real sense of almost like a royalty. It may not have gone as high up as royalty, but it feels like that kind of energy. So there's a lot of formal wear going on here. A lot of having that, we see this here with the table, having those refined, what does it say? What do they call that? The having the right etiquette for, you know, being at a table that's set for many people. You were always around people, and I feel like in some ways that life just handed it to you. Not saying you didn't work hard for it, but you were born into it. So learning gratitude was a really important thing for you. So let's have a look here. So surrender resentments is something else. Holding on to resentments only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward toward positive situations in your life. I feel like these two come hand in hand. I feel you would hold a grudge. You were very, very hard, maybe very hard in some ways. Maybe in some ways you would cut people off out of your life. You would hold a grudge. You would have very strong opinions on people, and in some ways you might have really looked down on some people. There might have been, if you felt like if somebody had done you the dirty or done you wrong, there was no forgiveness. You just cut them out of your life. And that's something that maybe you're learning, you know, here as well. And we got a vampire. Makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Yeah, so it could have been that you had to be that way because you didn't trust people. It could have been that in some ways you thought people were just after you for your money. You had a lot of trust issues, very cold. In some ways you had to be cold. You were disconnected, detached from emotion or even maybe intimate relationships, because there's this feeling of people just want you for your money, or they're just going to use you. And it could have been that you did have a betrayal and someone did do that to you. But we're going to see in a minute what's your current lesson, because I feel like for this one, it's about trust. It's about having gratitude for what life was giving you. And maybe in some ways you did take advantage of that. And it could have been that someone was also taking advantage of you, which made you hold on tightly to what you had. And instead of like really enjoying it and maybe sharing it with everyone, you kind of just, it was like that contracting and just following your own path, and it comes across like a selfishness. But in some ways you may have had to have been a bit that way. But your main lessons here was to have tolerance, being able to forgive and understand other people's journeys, and having gratitude. We're going to get into your current lessons. All right, we're going to do the current lessons now. Current lessons, group 1. Whoops. Current lessons. Let's see. So that was pretty full on. So the current lessons, wow, guys, you're still learning about gratitude. And it's not saying that you don't feel it, or that you're not applying that. But it's interesting, this is coming up as maybe it's saying, okay, you have reached this point where you are feeling more grateful for things here. Got this beautiful nature. Maybe you're very connected with birds, the outdoors, feeling very grateful for Mother Earth, things like that, being in tune with nature. There's more of a more gentle approach perhaps coming through with this one. And your lesson here is relinquish control. So in some parts, you might still be trying to control the narrative in life. It might be that you're afraid to let go of things. And it's interesting, the past life is showing holding a grudge, holding resentments, not really finding ways to overcome things or heal it. But when we look at this one, it's showing that there might be fears here in letting go of something, because it means you're not in control anymore. And sometimes if we've had things happen to us, we don't want to lose control. We want to stay in control so that no one can harm us, or that we know what's coming up. It's an insecurity-based thing, perhaps. But the 9 of Earth, this is beautiful. This is about you working hard on yourself. And this is what actually is a lesson here, is being able to, maybe in some parts of your life, you've had to do things on your own. Having to do things on your own and being able to trust in the relationship of life, the universe, with the universe. But I'm seeing here as well the relationship with oneself, being able to say, I can do this on my own, but not being too independent and too proud to allow others to come in and help you, because this is what this relinquished control's about. Maybe in the past, that's a little bit coming through from your past life, where you were not really open to other people and letting them into your world, okay? And maybe in some ways, it could be that you're so used to doing things on your own that you're a little afraid to let someone else take the reins for you in case it brings you down, okay? You've got high standards here as well still coming through. And it might be that you can only trust yourself to do things. You've had to rely on yourself for so long. So there is this very solo kind of energy coming through. It's not saying you don't have, the ability to ask other people for help, but there is this strong sense of responsibility, and I have to do it. I'm the one that has to do it, and if you do it, I don't really trust you're going to do it the right way. You know what I mean? So there's those high ideals coming through. Oh my gosh, seriously, you just saw me. I shuffled on these. This is freaking weird, guys. Great gratitude. This came up in your past life. So this is really important that you step into this and try and work out, how can I be more grateful in my everyday life? You might think you're being or showing gratitude, but is there something you could further explore when it comes to other people in your life and how they can come in and help you? This could be something that you're not getting just yet, or maybe you are on the path of understanding it and you're really expanding yourself in that way of really connecting with the earth and nature and the universe and God, and your spirit guides, and really asking for their help in really embracing this. Because sometimes we expect it to come in right now. We've been working really hard for it. But it's also about, they say that we have to show gratitude for the things that are already working in our life, the things that we already have, not just the things that we've been wishing for and then they suddenly arrive and then we show gratitude. We've got to have gratitude constantly. And so surrender to your intuition, tune into your inner voice, be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. So this is very amazing because it sounds like you're needing to relinquish control. This is somebody who's in their mind, way too much in their mind, analyzing things, trying to control the narrative with something, and even subconsciously, it may not even be something you're aware of that you're doing, but it's about trusting the universe to take control and take over. And in that way, it also means that it can happen in many ways. They can send other people in to, for those new opportunities to arise. We don't have to take on all the burdens. We can celebrate and, show gratitude even to ourselves, of how far we've come. But at the same time, we need to be able to just tap into our heart space, our sacral chakra, and really feel our way through as well. And the gratitude really does come from that heart chakra as well. So let's see what else is going on here. Group 1. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this king. Oh, I love this. So you're coming into king mode, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. So we got the sun and the moon, I'm pretty sure, here. So some of you could be very fiery, very emotional, very logical in a lot of ways. I mean, a king is the masculine energy of stepping up and taking control and being a leader and directing the way. But I think there's got to be a balance. So you are a natural leader. Maybe you're a business owner, or you are a person, the head of the house, who just gets things done. You have to take control of things. You have great responsibilities. And sometimes it can be really hard to be able to trust or know who to give certain jobs to, or allow people in to help you. So it's just about being able to use your intuition on knowing, okay, how do I lift these burdens from myself and just be a bit more at ease and lighten up a bit more in my life, because you've been on the go, step by step, working hard. It's methodical and very logical, very practical. And yeah, they're saying you're doing an amazing job. I feel like Spirit is acknowledging this within you. But at the same time, kings need to have fun. They need to be able to relax and let life happen and enjoy the family and things like that. So it's just about being able to come into a gratitude, being able to just take a step back and give someone else a bit more control over how things might, how they can help you in your life and on your path here. I think it's really beautiful. I hope this has helped you in some way. It's been quite amazing doing this reading. Let me know. And I look forward to connecting with you guys next time. Love and blessings. Hi, Group 2. Welcome, guys. You chose the Hope Stone. So lovely. We're going to see what your past life lessons have been. What was your main past life, or the main lesson of a past life here for Group 2? Thank you, angels. Oh, look, Spirit, the sacred temple. Wow. Wowies. I feel like you may have been a very, very sacred being in terms of maybe being very religious or like a monk. It's like that kind of energy. Maybe there's Buddhism or something along those lines. It looks like to me that you were on a path of spiritual enlightenment. And yep, the 5 is a very spontaneous, adventurous number here as well. So you were very much on this path and maybe literally going into temples. That's what I see. So it could be very religious. It could be the Eastern philosophies as well. Take what resonates with you. But you were on a journey of spiritual enlightenment, You were very disciplined. You know, the lesson was about being disciplined in terms of seeking that enlightenment and meditating. Maybe you were up in the Alps, okay, up here. Tibet is coming through for a lot of you. And I see the Himalayan, is it the Himalayas? I can never say the word now, I can't remember. I'm so hopeless with that stuff. But I see the Alps. I just see the Alps, and you're out there, and it's very eastern. I feel very eastern. And I'm hearing the bell. Okay, I'm hearing the bells going as well. So that whether it be a gong or it could be a church bell. I mean, who knows? But I'm hearing a bell. So it feels like to me you were very much on this sacred path. You could have been a nun, you know, you name it. You can resonate, whatever comes to you, okay? I'm not going to tell you exactly who you were. This is all part of our, when we look into past life regression, it's our soul that actually tells the story. But what I get from that is a very sacred role, a very sacred path that you were on. What else were you learning at that time? Wow, this is amazing. Listen to your guardian angel. Wow, guys. You were connecting with the higher source. You were definitely, and in some ways this reminds me of Mother Mary. So there might have been this real connection. Could have been Christianity. Or, you know, you could have been in the Catholic Church. Whatever it is, there's some religion, philosophy, spiritual path where you were connecting with angels, with the higher realms, higher beings, and you were learning to listen to them. Yes, this is amazing, this. Look at that. That's almost like a sunlight right there. This is the enlightenment. I feel like your angels were coming in to help guide you. You may have had a very psychic connection, okay? Very psychic connection with spirit. You knew how to go into those different levels of consciousness. Yeah, through meditation. That's quite amazing. So you were learning back then how to connect with the angels. Very interesting. Look at this, justice. So there could have been this element for some of you where there was this need for justice. And it could have been universal justice. We could have been working with the laws of karma right here as well. There's many universal laws. I'm thinking that I would have said legal if those other cards weren't there. But I feel like this is more of a spiritual justice, like a balancing of energies with the earth and the heavens, if that makes sense. So maybe you were a medium in some way as well. Libra energy coming through. And blindfolded means that you were trusting completely in your intuition rather than what your mind was telling you. But you were also balancing those things too. So you were, I feel, not trying to make an assumption on things. You were trying to feel your way through and listen to the guides as to how best to bring in balance in your physical reality. And maybe there were things that I see lots of scrolls or lots of reading up on scripture. That's what I'm seeing, scripture. So it was kind of like rules and regulations within that system as well. Yeah, definitely. And maybe there might have been some karmic thing that you were trying to balance out within yourself, like release a karmic debt, okay? When I see this too, I think of the Akashic Hall of Records, okay, the Akashic Records, which talks all about the past lives and what the lessons are and the contracts. So Justice card can definitely represent contracts here. And you were working with being, willingness. You are able to compromise if the end result is love. So you were surrendering completely to spirit. You were willing, and it was almost like a test of your faith and patience, faith in the universe, faith in the higher beings to bring in that knowledge, that sacred knowledge for you. Because I felt like you wanted to do just things with the earth. You were a just being. Quite amazing, guys. Quite amazing. What were you learning? Wow, hang on a moment. Okay, they just flew themselves out. What were you learning to surrender? What were you learning to surrender back then? Surrender frustrations. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. There may have been, where you were living at the time, some injustices going on with the citizens of the area, maybe other countries, if there were wars or anything, any kind of injustice coming in. You were willing to give yourself over to God and say, use me as the vessel here in order to teach healing and to bring in tolerance and faith and compassion amongst our society and amongst our world. And it was very frustrating for you to deal with it, to see how people were hurting each other or hurting the world. Okay, so there was a lot of injustices going on. And for some reason, I'm getting like the 1400s. The 1400s and 1500s are very symbolic here. Yes, significantly. I don't know what was going on. I'm not very good with history. But yeah, this is interesting stuff coming through here. Yes, I definitely feel like you weren't wearing these expensive robes or anything. You were very humble with what you were wearing. And we've got the Exorcist. Oh my gosh. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. This is almost like a shaman. Wowee, guys. This is amazing. Look at the big feathers here. Very tribal, very like shamanic. So, oh man, that's amazing. So it could have been that for some of you, you had a very strong power, you know, to exercise, what are they saying? All the sins, okay? The sins from someone. And what am I seeing with that? I'm seeing like the feather or some instrument that you're holding, and people are in front of you and you're going like this to their shoulders. I have no idea. Please let me know if you have any idea what that is. But I see that you're praying. It's almost like you're praying or chanting over this person or these people. It's like they're lining up to you, and that's what you're doing. And I feel like in some ways, because it was such like an important role for you to do, there's a responsibility here. You may have felt in some ways very frustrated with the way that things were going with the world and even having to be in that position to do these things. But you had a higher understanding, or you were trying to, okay, that was your lesson, to listen to the guardian angels as to what the higher purpose was for all of this. Why is there all this pain and suffering in the world? Yeah, it's very interesting, guys. And maybe you were frustrated in some ways where you would help people and they would just keep repeating things, or they would turn on their faith. And it was really hard for you to understand why is this insanity in the world, you know. And there could even be something you're relating to right now. You know, this could be something that's really being brought through. But we're going to have a look at what your current lessons are now. But I find this fascinating, where you've been. It's just really, yeah, quite amazing. And you had a very strong spiritual power, like the higher beings worked with you. You really did have them. You tapped into this very strong spiritual healing and were given sacred knowledge by the higher beings. It's quite amazing, guys. Let's get into your current lessons. Okay, so let's get into your current lessons right here. What's happening now for group 2? Thank you, angels. In your current life right now, what's happening for you guys now? What are you learning about? Hidden motivations. And this could be other people's hidden motivations, or maybe you are not revealing very much. And we were looking into a past life where you would have had to have been having some kind of secret code. Okay, so there would have had to have been some anonymity. I can't say the word anonymity. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I can't think of the word, how I'm trying to say it, but it would have been that you were having to be very anonymous in how you were dealing with people. You weren't able to reveal a lot. Anonymity, I can't think of the word, I'm so stupid with it. But anyway, there's this hidden motivation. So it shows me that you're not revealing everything to everyone right now about what you want or what you know. There might be, like, you have a lot of wisdom, a lot of soul wisdom, you're an old soul, but there's still things you don't necessarily just blurt out to people. You may be somebody who watches from the side, you're keeping an eye on everything around you and your surroundings, and you may not say a lot unless you need to. But let's have a look. It could be at the moment that you're really trying to ascertain what other people's hidden motivations are, okay, with you. It could be, yeah, that in some ways you've been betrayed. Let's just see what's going on. So you have support. Yeah, look at this blindfold. Very interesting with that Justice card we saw before too. You have spiritual support. It's being able to what am I saying? Yes, be able to go within your intuition, trust in your guides with what they're telling you about people around you. So it's about having that discernment. That's something you're learning right now, is what are people's intentions, and do they really, have my back? Are they really trying to support me, or are they going to use me or hurt me? Yes. And see how there's a mask there? It's almost like in some ways you've had to put on a mask and go along with what people are saying, but you don't really trust what they're saying. And maybe you have a right to as well, not trust what they're doing. But what are you learning? Four of Air, taking a step back, meditating. Okay, this is meditation still. So it could be that you still need to go within and take some time out and not overthink things. Yep. And really just feel your way. Maybe that's something that you're still learning, is feeling your way regarding people. But I feel like you do have a strong gut instinct as well. Yes, the Five of Fire is the battle. This is people who are jealous of you, people who don't have your back. This I feel like also, this is people who, very competitive, very jealous of you, try to bring you down. They are sensing something within you that is quite sacred. And they want to know what you know. They want to get into your mind. You might not be revealing much. And they don't like that. And they don't like that you have a strong spirit. There's just an air about you, an aura about you that some people feel that they need to to try and destroy. There's a destructive energy going on here. Yeah. So I feel like in some ways, maybe even in a past life, you were stabbed in the back, maybe in battle. This could be a completely different lesson from a past life thing we were just talking about. Because as I said I'm talking about past life stuff here, but I'm thinking about current relationship, trusting in people and groups that have your back. And it looks like somebody does not maybe even now have your back, or you just feel that whenever you may open up to someone, they always end up hurting you or betraying you in some way. And maybe that's also why you've got to hide your motivations or intentions, because you don't want people knowing where you're at, what next step. You don't want them a step ahead of you. You got to keep a step ahead of them. That might be some things right there. Very interesting. Individuality is something here too. You leave your unique stamp of love on everything you do. So you are totally an individual, very much so, coming into your real strong individuality. And people don't like that. They get threatened by that. They want to be like you. They might have this weird thing where they admire you but also despise you. So, you just are who you are. You just got to keep following your path. And don't be afraid to do what you need to do to follow your calling in life. And so maybe that's where this lesson comes in, is that not everybody is going to turn on you. Maybe you've had a lot of people do that and you just really don't know who to trust now. But it's just knowing that you have support, you have your own back. And there are people, very close in your tribe who do have your back. So what do you need to surrender now is to creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. Still be your individual creative self. Don't tell everyone about what you're about to create. They might steal your ideas. Things like that could be something that you're just learning to be a little bit more not so open about, and talking about what your dreams are or goals or business plans or whatever it might be. Just being able to keep it to yourself for a little while. And maybe a lot of you are doing that. Like, you don't trust in opening up, completely. But it's all coming. It's all coming. it's unfolding as it's meant to. And right now, Father, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. So some of you might want to be a father. Maybe you are a father and you're trying to learn how to navigate with your children through the world, or help them navigate through the world. It could be just this masculine energy coming through, where you need to parent yourself. You need to be your own, parent, in other words, like your own father, coming in and providing for yourself and providing for others, and being that strong person, that strong rock that you can look up to. Could be some of you dealing with issues around a father right now as well, and learning to find your own individuality and breaking away from fatherly patterns. Okay, if there's been past patterns and hurt with a father, it could be that you're now branching off and doing your own thing, and trying not to feel bad about going off and doing your own thing. So there's many ways to look at it here. But there is this need to create, to bring something, like to build something. Masculines are all about building something, creation, building, and helping others and supporting and providing. So that's something that you may want to do in the world, is still be somebody who's, walking through life. What do they say? Walking to the beat of your own drum, and being able to speak your opinions. Maybe you've learned to be quiet and not really talk much about what your spiritual beliefs are or anything like that. But that might be something you're learning to voice yourself, even if it's not verbally, but it's going to be through your creations, through what you build in life. It's going to be you leaving your special mark, your imprint on the earth through your own spiritual beliefs and, all that beautiful stuff, guys. It's quite amazing. I hope this has resonated. It's really interesting to learn this stuff. Let me know, guys, if there's anything here that you resonate with. I see that you're not a fighter, you're a lover, and you just want peace. But you also will stand up for things if you feel like there's an injustice, because I feel like it's coming back from that past life there as well. You have a lot of hidden knowledge, a lot of wisdom that you don't even necessarily have to study for. You've already done a lot of your studies in the past life, and people will challenge you about it. They'll challenge you. So just keep being your strong rock, strong self, and just, keep moving forward in life, knowing what you know with your own path, and always, protect your energy as well, guys. So I hope that's resonated, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. Love and blessings. Hi, group 3. Welcome, guys. You chose this gorgeous little spring leaf or autumn leaf, however you want to look at that. And we're going to see what's going on with your past life lesson. Let's have a look. For group 3, thank you, angels. What's going on here with the past life? Oh, hello, sunshine, darling. So let's see. Group 3, consciousness. Okay, a consciousness of lack. So you might have been somebody who just wasn't very wealthy in life. You might have come from a very poor family, poor background. There might have been this, real poverty mentality. You might not have really had a lot of success in your past. And that could be something that's coming through now. Only you will know that. But there's something around self-worth here as well. We've got the love heart in that stone there. And it's interesting this is coming through, but it could be that some of you have lived in a place where there are these big stone structures, like, what do they call, megaliths or something? Could be Stonehenge, or, there's so many different places with these things. Very green area, very beautiful area. This kind of, I don't know what that tree is, but could have been that you looked like that. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be, but I just feel like, it feels to me that you may have gotten to a point where you were just working so hard and you just couldn't succeed. It was like going up this uphill, just going uphill and constantly finding these obstacles. So it could have been these money restrictions, people turning you away because you didn't have certain skills. Could have been that you were educated or trying to educate yourself, but people just would not look at you or give you the time of day. And it reminds me of that Five of Pentacles energy in the tarot, where you felt rejected, left out in the cold, not really making it in society. You know, status was important back then as well. So I'm just trying to see. Yes, I'm getting the 1700s for some reason in this, but it could be any era really, but I feel like it is. That's around the time frame I'm getting here. So you can imagine, like, you need to have money to survive and support a family and make it in the world. Otherwise, you just don't get a look in. So that was some issues around money for sure, and status. And reverse disassociation. So it could have been that, I'm going to look this up. Hang on. Okay, it was what I thought it was, but I just wanted to make sure. So in other words, you were disassociating from yourself, your feelings, from people. You might have felt so rejected in life and felt quite ashamed and humiliated that you were disconnecting and disassociating from your reality, from your family, maybe just other people around you, society. And there's like an internalizing going on. But it's almost like you were, yes, I feel like you might have put on a mask. You might have pretended to be a successful person when really deep down you weren't, okay? And just this feeling of heavy burdens here. We see one with the key and one with the key lock, one with the key. So it's like you may have had certain amount of education going on. It's not like you were stupid. Like, you had education behind you. You did have the knowledge, but you, for whatever reason, it might have been even your family's reputation or status, you were not given a look in. And you did strive. You worked very hard to try and get this happening. And for some reason, it just wouldn't work out. So, yes, I'm going to get more information. So in some ways you were escaping your reality. It could have been through self-medicating. Could have been drinking. There could have been an addiction. I feel like for a lot of you there was an addiction there where you would escape into it. Yeah. You just didn't feel like luck was on your side in any way. And the King of Water here. So some of you could have been a father. Okay, you could have been a very a beautiful, generous being. It's somebody who was wanting to give of yourself to the world. You genuinely had a love and a passion for things. I feel very artistic, poetic kind of energy here. And it could have been that in a lot of ways you might have been a writer of books. Someone who, I can see writing. I can see like penmanship, okay? I can see that. I can see trying to network. You were very good with your words, very good with a written word. But for some reason, and it could have been that you had a shop and then things went, to hell with that. What am I saying? It just went to ruins. It could have been that there was a fire and that you couldn't restore things again. It's kind of like that energy where you've built things up, but you just can't get that look in. You can't rebuild again, but you have an education and you have this creative spirit, this very generous, beautiful spirit here as well. It's interesting we've got the king too. So I am definitely seeing like royalty around you. And I don't feel like there was in your blood, but I feel like there was royalty around you. And you might have felt that you were being judged, like people looking down at you, that you weren't good enough. Maybe you applied for something within, some kind of royal bloodline there, and then they just wouldn't let you have a look in. Oh, gosh, guys. This is heavy. Heavy stuff going on here. So we've got peacefulness, okay? You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. So you were a peacemaker. You weren't a fighter. You were someone who was very poetic, maybe very artistic. You expressed yourself through that. And... I feel like there was, because I get a very male energy around this too, very male, masculine energy. And I feel like there was a woman that was in your life. Could have been your wife or someone you were very drawn to, and there was this love affair, and it could have been that she was actually married to someone else. Could have, there's something going on there, and you couldn't even attain that, and that was really hard to deal with, that you were like this person who was not good enough to even be married to, or someone choose you. Gosh, man. It's crazy, guys. Crazy stuff, I tell you. You're such a peaceful soul coming through all of that. Even in the face of all that, you've got this peaceful, loving, kind-hearted soul. Wow. Surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. This is something you were trying to surrender through all the turmoil, the sadness, the humiliation, the feeling of being rejected, cast out. There was something that you had in your life, and it could have been your own creative artwork, whatever it is. There's a passion that you had that kept you going, and you wanted to spread the word to other people too. I can hear music now, so it's like maybe musician, musical, artistic. It's that kind of energy, and you wanting to spread peace amongst others. You wanted to help others. I feel like you did help others. Yeah, I feel like you did help other souls. So you touched other souls with your work, your music, your artwork. And you made bits of money, but it wasn't a lot of money. Oh, God, guys, this is crazy. And it did come up reversed, but I'm still looking at this word. Look, I'm going to read them both. Expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically, because you're very deep, very poetic, very spiritual. And this one, what's this one say? Using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. Now, what I see with that is that head hang down, head held, hanging down here, the head hanging down, could represent that at times you were so down that you did, people saw this within you, that you were really down and out, that you were struggling to make, a place in the world. So I just, the word artist just stands out to me so much here, guys. I find it amazing. And I feel like there's comical pieces that you would do too. There might have been some real comical artwork or poetry or something that people might have been controversial, okay, as well in those times. But I just find it very interesting. Let's look at your current lessons. But this feels sad. Like I get a sadness here. And if this has come through to your current life, there might be some things you just need to really look within and come to terms with within yourself, and keep seeking out that peacefulness. And I think that's what you may have been striving for, was always finding this peace that you were feeling with all the things you were doing that you loved doing, that got you through life, that got you through the challenges, okay? We're going to do the current stuff now. All right, so let's do these current lessons now for group 3. What are they learning now? What are we learning now? What's going on here, please, angels? Current lessons for group 3 right now. In this timeline, in this life now, what are you learning? What's going on for you right now? Spirit, the healing light. Oh my gosh. You are a healer. You are a natural healer. You are a light worker on this earth. You have a beautiful, peaceful soul, as we saw. And so through that journey, of poverty, and there's an empathy now that comes through for those in life who are not making it, who are suffering or struggling, okay? Those who are maybe the underdogs in the world, maybe you're in a better position now than what you were back then, and you're wanting to bring in healing to those who do feel down and out, who do feel down about themselves, or humiliated or ashamed or embarrassed. There's a lot of maybe charity, you're giving to charity, things like that. That could be something that's happening right now, and spirit is helping to guide you and put you in a place in the world where you can be that person that can help others. Could even be through counseling. But whatever there is, there's a healing light within you, and you might even find that people just come to you and they trust you and they just feel at ease with you. What are you learning? Temper your criticism. So in some ways, you might be very, very hard on yourself still. It could be, I don't feel like this is other people. I feel like this is toward oneself. Maybe in some ways you've been very hard on yourself because there might be a part of that past that's been carried through here where you still feel like you're not where you want to be and where you need to be, or where you feel like you should be, or where you deserve to be. And it could still feel in some ways like a little bit of a struggle to get to that abundance that you desire, or that feeling supported. It could be the lack of support of people around you that might have been happening in a past life that could still be happening now, where you still have to really do things alone. And it could be criticism of people around you who are supposed to be there to support you and who aren't. That could be something coming through here as well. Just remembering your relationship to spirit, and that, you will always be looked after, being tapped into the universe of abundance. They do bring in abundance for us. It's always there in different ways. So 7 of air. Yeah, this is this is someone who escapes. Okay, this is I think, now I'm just trying to remember what we saw last time. My brain's not working. Did we get the reverse disassociation, or was it in the other one now? I'm trying to remember. My brain's not working when I do so many of them, but I feel like in some ways this is saying don't run away. Don't run away or escape into things. And I think we did see that where there might have been some kind of an addiction in the past where you were escaping into things that may not have been very good for you. So it could be at the moment there might be a bit of a disassociating when things get tough, and just being aware, like coming back into our reality, being able to face it headstrong and say, okay, I know you're there and I'm going to deal with this. And, and it's okay to, it's okay at the moment. I'm going to be okay. I don't have to avoid this. I need to be able to face it. And I also need to know what my limits are, that I don't have to have all the answers, that I don't have to, it's almost like that frustration coming up. Oh gosh, hang on. I don't take jumpers out in these readings. So what are you learning right now? Willingness. You are able to compromise if the end result is love. So being able to be willing to compromise with others, even compromising with ourselves if we're really hard and a bit stubborn with something too, if we don't want to back down on something. And I mean, if you have promised yourself something, or if you've made some kind of vow to yourself, and if you break it, that's going to definitely bring up a criticism, a very strong criticism within yourself. So it's just being easy, going easy on yourself. Going easy on yourself, not beating yourself up if you relapse into something, or find it hard to face something right now, and just, do kind of push it away and be in a little bit of denial. That could be something going on, but spirit are trying to remind you constantly that you are the healing light. They're bringing that in through you as well, and that you are here to help others. You are being helped. If you're willing to help yourself, spirit will also help you. Surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. So it's very much about going into that place of quiet, being able to just reflect. You don't have to know all the answers right now. You don't have to take any action right now, but being able to not escape, okay, not escape. It's just about being able to go into a place of meditation. The answers come to us from spirit in this place of silence. And sometimes we don't even need the answers to come in right then. We just need to just breathe, take a step, take a step back, just be in the present moment and, feel our bodies, feel grounded, not have anxiety take over. Because I feel like you're a sensitive soul, you're very empathic, And I think other people's energy can really affect you. And it's just about being able to take a step back and say, I'm safe. I'm safe in my environment. I'm safe with whatever's going on that may be a challenge, maybe challenging or confronting or a little, the unknown is scary. But I am in control of this. And I trust in spirit to guide me the way through this. Especially if you've got lots of noise around you at the moment. So it says here, prince. And I've got the shadow, but it doesn't matter. Prince. So you might have been a prince. Well, actually, no, you weren't. But it shows me, it's actually showing me in your current situation right now. Yeah, it's interesting. Like you want to come into this energy right now where you do have something to give others. And a romantic charm and potential for power. So it does show me you want to come into some kind of status. For some reason, it's important for you to be able to show people that you are important, and that you're making it in the world. And it's not an ego thing, but I think it's more of a thing of, I am special. I am here to give to the world. I do have a lot to give. And that, once again, that very romantic charm, what it's showing me is that poetic energy. So I feel like in some ways you can really give to others in a very, like this reminds me of the Prince, what am I seeing with that? The Knight of Cups, which is somebody who wants to give, usually is a romantic thing here too. Maybe in your relationships, intimate relationships, you want to be able to open your heart to something and be able to give to that person as well. Maybe you've been a bit closed off with that, maybe feeling ashamed you don't have much. That could be something. But yeah, also could be, if you're a feminine, that you want to meet somebody that you can open your heart to. You may not have all the answers. You may not have everything, but you do have a lot to give to somebody. That could be something here as well. So got to be careful where you're using your power in life as well. What motives is it for? Are you charming people for something that, you feel you need to satisfy something within you? Just being aware if that's coming through. And yeah, I feel, I don't really get that for a lot of you. I feel like, if anything, I get this real gentle, beautiful energy. But there might be this feeling of, once again, it's like that mask. Putting on a mask to the world that I'm all that, I'm really good, I'm making it, when really you might not feel completely there yet. And it's just about being able to be humble, being able to be brave, to say to somebody, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm getting there. And I'm, surrendering to what is and where I want to be. And I'm still on my journey and I'm on my way. Because I feel like, yes, I feel like you do have a lot of creative power to put into the world, like creative charm. I feel like there is like maybe art work for some of you still. Didn't we have that coming through? So it feels like a very creative energy that you can still use, that can help you to, to have that abundance, but share your light with the world as well. And you will be looked after. That's the whole point here as well, is that you will be looked after. You just need to surrender to the universe and trust that they will bring in that abundance. And also the person who wants to come in and sweep you off your feet and help you in life, to give you that love that you deserve as well. So I hope this has resonated. It's been so interesting doing these readings. And yeah, let me know, guys. I look forward to connecting with you next time. Love and blessings.